My name is Gary Rallison, the guru of hair. You know, years ago, people used to be like this, but now they've changed and they've got replacements. Years ago, when they had replacements, they didn't look very good. They didn't look natural. The color didn't match. But now today, I'm going to show you how anybody can afford one of these replacements. Not only kings, but an average man who can afford one. And this will change a person like this to get rid of this dome, and it'll look really good. So before we do anything with the replacement today, we want to make sure that the replacement fits. Now today, we've already had the hairpiece already made for Tyler. But we're going to show you first how to do this. I'm going to show you how to make a mold. And this mold will make a positively sure good thing. So nowadays they've improved the replacements. They've taken these replacements and they've hand tied them and make them very thin bases and lots of kind of an indent into where the part is, and that makes it look more natural. There's nothing worse. Like years ago, the kings used to have this big hair piece, all this hair. That doesn't work. It doesn't matter what age you are or who you are, you can look a lot younger by wearing a replacement. Now let's go right in to showing you how you make a mold of a person so you get a perfect fit for replacement. First of all, you get saran wrap, which is very easy. And you pull the saran wrap out wide. And this is so you know how to measure it the right way. You take the saran wrap and you put this over the head like this. And then you twist it like that. Then you can have the person hold, if you would hold this please, up like this. Now the proper way, most people's hairline is 4 fingers. So you go 4 fingers from here. Or you can see the little bit of the hairline here, and that's where you'd put it. So then you take a pencil marker, a permanent pencil marker, and you put a dot. You go 4 fingers up like this, which he needs just a little bit higher. We're going to put right there. That's where the natural hairline is. You put a dot there, and then you put a dot in the back. Now if you'll see where he has no hair here, you come into a V like this, not a full area, but you want to make it look receded. So you go like this to a V, and you come right along where the hair has gone. You keep coming all the way around the back. You need it all the way around the back because if you don't get it right back here where he is receding, the hair piece will not fit right. So you come all the way down around like this. And then you make it into a V here. Now you've got that done, you look back at it again and look at it again to make sure it's right. Now, so we're going to have the part on this side, so I'm going to put a little notch there to make it look like he's receded a little bit. Now, if he was really a young person, you would want it really short and not even have a part in it. But seems he's a little older, that's what we're going to do. Now, you put an F in the front for front and a B in the back. So when you get this taken off, you'll know exactly which is the front and the back. Then you can take your pen and put arrows where you want the hair to go. Like this, we want the hair to go this way, so we're putting arrows that way, and the hair going this way, so we're putting arrows this way. Now when you're through with that, you want to make the mold so it'll fit exactly the curve of his head. So you take Scotch tape and you tape each section like this. Very easy. Go like this and you tape it. You can see from the back here how we're doing this. We take and we tape across like this. It makes a perfect form of his head. This makes it fit just absolutely perfect. And nowadays they've got improved so much more than they have on the old ones. They're not so thick, and they have real hair and they have synthetic hair. So we got a combination of both. The advantage of real hair is that it's more natural, but the synthetic hair you want to be gray because it doesn't fade. Now you see, as we come across like this, we're still taping, go down around like this, all the way across. Very easy, very quick, and just perfection this way. Now, to make sure you don't make a mistake, what you do is you see the line through there again and you draw one more time where your line is. And if you see any corrections you need to make, you make it now. Don't forget to put front and back in the direction you want the hair to go again. Very simple. Now you might want to make one more stripe to the front to the back just to stabilize it a little bit more. Okay, now we're done. You just take this off, thank you for holding that, and you just pull it off. And you can see the perfect mold. So we're going to take the scissors and we're going to cut that out, and then we're going to put it on his head to make sure it's properly done. You just take some shears and just cut the line like this. Very simple and very easy. It doesn't have to be just exactly perfect. Just make sure you go to the outside of where the marker is so you don't get it too small. No mistakes, no complications, very basic and very simple. Okay, now we put it back on his head and you can see this is just perfect. It's just fine in the front here, 4 fingers. We can switch it this way a little bit or this way. And you can see we have just a little bit of a line there right into here. So we'll need to make the replacements a little longer right through here. We need to draw just a little bit longer in here. Not too much though, because if you go too far down, the replacement will stick out. So this is about 2 inches, and that's just perfect. It fits his head perfect. And then you order the hair piece. You take a sample of the hair. And now with Tyler, we need to go more gray because of his age. So we take a sample, and you'll see that I've already sent this in, and this is just a perfect fit for his hair. We've already ordered the replacement. Now the best replacements are with real hair, and let me emphasize one more time, synthetic hair needs to be gray. Now, when the hair piece comes to you, you check it out twice. You do like I showed you here. You take the replacement to the side like this, and you comb this in here before you even cut it to see if it blends. I have plenty of gray in his hair, so see how perfect that blends. There's no line like the old ones. The new ones are perfect. It blends just perfect. So we know that's the right match. Then the next thing we do, we take this from the front. Now when you put on a replacement, you always go to the front. You can see he has little hairs right there. We go right to the front. We just take this and we measure there and we pull it right back. We look to make sure it's square. It's just perfect. And there. Now this is a raw hair piece. This has to be cut way shorter, but you want to hold it on before you tape it and see what it looks like. You look straight at him, and you can see it doesn't look realistic, but when we get through cutting this, he'll look like a totally different person. And it makes him look younger already, but it needs to be cut in. So now we see that it fits good. We pick it up from all corners like this. We look to see if it's balanced. It's very good. It's very good here. Very good balance and enough gray hair in it. So this will be just perfect. So the next thing you want to do, make sure that your customer's hair isn't too short, that it's long enough for this to blend in. And then you want to make sure that the color match is perfect. And then you want to make sure this base fits just perfect. And you can see that I've designed this for him with a notch in it to make it look like he's receded. Now, if he was a young fellow, you wouldn't do that. You would cut it really short and not even put a notch in it. But this is the way to do it. And this is a polyurethane base with a mesh in here and hand tied and double knotted so it'll last. And when we cut this in, this will look just perfect for Tyler. So let's proceed to cutting it in. Now, Tyler's hair has already been cut. So what we're going to do first, there's two ways to do these replacements. First of all, we're going to wipe his head clean. Make sure there's no sweat or residue on his hair. And then we put the tape on. Now, there's several ways you can put this on. You can use guillotine clamps, which you sew on the base here and you clamp it into his hair. I don't think that's the best way because it's hard to deal with. Or there's another way. You can put tape all the way around and glue and bond it. And when you bond it, it'll last a good month. And then you take it off and you service it for him. But today we're just going to tape it so he can get used to it and take it off at night and then put it on. Now, before you cut a replacement in, you always want to wet it with cold water. These should be done with cold water, so we take absolutely cold water. And this is the way you wash them and take care of them. Rinse it out with cold water. You don't need to scrub these, you just rinse them lightly with cold water. You squeeze the moisture out, get a towel, blot it like this, and then make sure you wipe off the base. The base is very important to wipe this off. We wipe off the base very clean so the tape will... Now, the best tape would be double-sided tape, which is clear. That's the only kind of tape you want because you can see this as we go through here, that you can see the scalp with my fingers. And that's what we want on the model here, is to make sure we can see his scalp. So when they look down onto it, you can see the skin. So we use double-sided tape, which is the very best. Now, how you put this tape on is you turn the replacement over like this. If you'd hold that, please. And you have different types of tape. You can get a roll of tape, or you can get a piece of tape like this is already cut, which I very like. It's got a V. It's easier to work with. And two-sided tape works this way. You take the one side off, and you can see the other part. And then you make sure this is right on the edge here. Perfectly on the edge. Press down with your thumbs to make sure it's on properly. If you'll hold that again. And then we got another piece of tape for the back and the sides. What this tape does is it holds it on. You can go swimming in it. You don't worry about it coming off. It's made by a very good company, 3M, and it lasts a long time. So you put another piece of tape here. And because we're cutting this in, we're going to be lifting this up. So we're going to tape it pretty heavy the first time. And after you wear these, this mold will mold to your head, and you won't have to worry about putting so much tape because this has been molded to his head to fit perfect. Now, if you can see, we've taped here in the front and in the back and on the sides. Now, when you do this, put this tape on, make sure that this hair is away from this when you pull the tape off, and you turn the base this way, because if you turn it the other way, you're going to get hair into it. So you pull the tape off gently. See how that is? It has a little strip. Very easy. You can't even see the tape when we pull it off. Bend it like that. Pull this way. Pull this way. And just go all the way around, pushing the tape and pulling it off. Now, the next important part is to make sure that this fits exactly square on his head. So you start from the front. You have it rolled out like this. And you put it down, don't press, just very lightly. And we go 4 fingers. Okay, I think we need to move it just a little bit more over here, a little forward. right there. That's 4 fingers, but it looks like he's receded here. That's what we want. And then you come back and you look around here. Okay, that is right where he's bald. Look in the back. That is all the way down there just where we wanted it, just perfect. Then over to the sides, it's the same distance on both sides. That's what you want to make sure it's squared. Okay, when you know it's squared, push down. Now when you cut in a replacement, you don't cut it like ordinary hair. You got to have different lengths to go into here. So if you have a one length and leave a line, so you have different lengths. Now there's 3 ways you can do this. You can cut it with the blending shears, which should be a fairly fine shear, or you want to cut it with the razor. But the razor, if it has synthetic hair, it'll frizz the hair. So don't do that if it's got synthetic hair. Now the best way to cut it is comb this down when it's wet like this. And remember, you don't cut them in perfect the first time. It takes a couple of times. There's several ways to do this, but the best way is to start in the front for me. You take this hair like this, and you twist it with the blenders. You come on an angle and go 1, 2, 3. Same thing. The reason you do it this way is because the tapering shears doesn't take all the hair off, but it thins and tapers it, makes different lengths. And that's what you want, is different lengths. Just take your time and section it off and twist it like in the front. Don't go too close to the roots, maybe an inch away. See, that takes the bulk out. Years ago they used to have this bulky hair and it looked so unreal and so funny, but now we make it look like he's thinned and he's got really thin hair. And then you can come up like this and you can texture into the hair like this. This would be the safest way for you until you get more experience doing it than just taking the regular shears onto it. You come in and cut it on an angle. See how we come down and go up with it? So we have different lengths. All different lengths. Into it, one snip, then up at the ends. So when you cut it off at the ends, it has different lengths. Then you just take your time and keep looking at it. You can pick a little pieces up after you get more experience like this and just feather it out on the ends. See how neat that looks? Just feather it out on the ends and that takes it off, but in all different lengths. A lot of fun to do this. And what the fun part is the customer, when he's through, he will look a lot younger. And he will feel better about himself. And nowadays, you can't tell them if they're done right. Years ago, you could be able to tell them, but nowadays, they've manufactured them so much better. See how we're doing this? We're picking this up underneath and coming up on different lengths like this. Now, if you want to pick this up and twist it, that's fine. Just don't get too close to the roots. So what we're going to do, we're going to take all this bulk out first. See how we're lifting that up in pieces, coming down? As we work our way through and get a system, just like when you cut hair, you start at one side and work your way around. Don't jump around on it. Stay at one part until you get it done. See how we cut it off on the ends, like this? The main thing you want to remember, if it's too smooth, it doesn't look good. And if it's more messy, the better it looks. And you want it to blend the color, so we got to have it so it blends no matter what we do. See how I work the ends so I got different lengths? Very easy. Keep combing it down. Most of them come too thick. That's the way you have them made. And you want to have them made, the very best hair comes from Germany. And the synthetic hair should be at the best monocrylic fiber you could get for the gray hair. The more multicolors in the replacement, the more natural. Then we comb down, we keep looking at it, we keep going. Then we come back at the top where the part is and pull the part over like this to take the bulk out. So you go a different direction this time. And you notice I'm working on the ends. I'm not working out on the... Now, another way is to bring this up. Look at it. See how I pull that up so I can watch what I'm doing. Then I'll comb it down and look at it. That's okay to leave these long stragglers. That's the last thing you want. You want this hair to come down into here so it'll blend. You can take it shorter later because you want it to blend. See how we blend it? Like this. And when you're through with the customer, you want to let him look at it, and then you have him come back the next week and take care of it. And the whole idea is that he wants you to service his replacement. And you're the one who knows how, and he'll come back to you. So the best thing to do is probably make a standing appointment with him or charge him so much a month to maintain his replacement. Usually it takes, a hair grows a half an inch a month, so I would say a month and a half is about the right amount to have him come back. Now, where this is right here, you want to get this hair off of his ears. See how that blends? We're leaving that long for a purpose. And that's so if it doesn't fit just perfectly, the blend, it'll blend in and we can see it so we can take more off. Just don't cut too much off. Now you can see here, you can kill and slither it like this a little bit with your shears. We cut all these little stringers off first. So let's go through the steps. We put it on. We blended, we started here, we worked all the way around, and now we're coming back and getting these little long ends off and slithering them off. Not blunt cutting them, but slithering them. Slithering takes the hair and puts it different lengths, like this. But when you cut it off blunt, you don't want a blunt line. You want everything to blend. The one thing you want to educate a customer is how to take care of the replacement. The best way is to use a shampoo for color-treated hair and always wash it in cold water. So what you would do is you would take a pan of water, if you don't have a sink like I do, and put a little shampoo into the bowl, dip the hairpiece in and out, and then rinse it out with clear water, and then rinse that water out of the bowl and put just clear cold water. Cold water. But that looks so natural on him, that length. See how I'm coming in and getting all this just perfect down into here? And watch, I leave stringers. Little strings to blend into his hair. Don't worry about getting them perfect until later on. They need to wear it for 3 or 4 days and then have them come back and you adjust it. And here's the finished product. So thank you for tuning in to us, and you can see for his age it looks very natural. He likes to wear his hair pretty full. And we want to thank you for listening and watching, and we hope we can give you more information in the future. And so just don't give up. Just keep hanging in there, and things get better all the time. I can tell you that from being in the business for 47 years.